I heard the paramedics say her name before I ever caught sight of her. But it was the expression on his face that made my stomach knot. There was sympathy there, tension too, and something unspoken, something he couldn't bring himself to say. To a husband standing in a hospital corridor at 2:17 in the morning, "Sir, your wife is out of danger," he told me. Then he paused. "However, there's something you need to be aware of." That sentence sent a chill racing through my body. I had no idea that what waited beyond a thin hospital curtain would dismantle everything I believed about love, loyalty, and the woman I had spent a decade building a life beside. Weeks later, when I finally shared this story on my channel, it still felt as though I was bleeding from the inside. That night began. While I was asleep, the phone lit up the dark bedroom with a harsh blue glow, like an alarm I couldn't ignore. "Is this Daniel Reyes?" the voice asked. "Yes," I answered, already tense. "This is St. George Medical Center. Your wife has been admitted." My wife. My chest tightened instantly. What happened? They wouldn't explain over the phone. They only told me to come immediately. I drove through deserted streets, the city eerily quiet, my thoughts shattered by the pounding of my own heartbeat. Emily had told me she'd be working late, buried under a sudden deadline. I had even messaged her around midnight just to check in. She replied with a heart emoji. I held on to that tiny symbol like proof everything was fine, ever realizing how empty it truly was. At the emergency room, the nurse's expression echoed what I'd already seen from the paramedics. Sympathy, mixed with discomfort. "She's in room 6, she said gently. Someone is already there with her. The words felt wrong. Someone else was with my wife at 2 in the morning. My hand shook as I pulled the curtain aside. Emily lay there, pale and drained. Sitting beside her was a man I'd never seen before. The moment I stepped in, he rose to his feet, guilt written plainly across his face. "Emily," I whispered. "Oh my God." "Daniel, wait," she said softly. I turned to the man. "Who is he?" No one answered. The silence pressed in, heavy and suffocating. "I should leave," the man muttered. "No," I said, "you stay. Someone needs to explain why my wife is in a hospital bed with you." My chest felt tight as I spoke. Emily covered her face with shaking hands. When she finally looked up, her eyes were red whether from exhaustion or shame. I couldn't tell. I only knew the truth was close, and I wasn't ready for it. Doctor entered, immediately sensing the tension. "Mr. Reyes," he said, "your wife suffered a severe allergic reaction that caused difficulty breathing." I stared at him. "Allergic to what?" "She doesn't have allergies." He hesitated. And before he could continue, the pieces fell into place. Latex. It felt like something was ripped straight out of my chest. "I didn't know," the other man said quietly. "She didn't either." "She didn't," I repeated numbly. My eyes locked on him. "So, you two were." Emily broke down. "Daniel, I'm so sorry. I didn't think it would come to this." "Come to what?" I asked. "Ending up here," she whispered. I turned back to the man. "You married?" He shook his head. "No, and I didn't know about her at first. When I found out, I tried to stop. She said things weren't simple." Emily collapsed inward. "I ruined everything. I ruined it all. I wanted to scream, to shatter something, to rip the world apart. But I couldn't. A crushing weight pinned my chest. "You were with him," I said quietly. "And the hospital called me. Your husband to come save you." The irony burned. I had rushed here. I had cared, and she had broken us. "I'm glad you're alive," I said softly, "but I'm finished." Tears streamed down her face. "Daniel, please. I can fix this." "I swear." "No," I said. "You had 5 months to think about what you were doing. I didn't even get 5 seconds. The man stared at the floor, shame weighing him down, but he no longer mattered to me. She was the one who had promised me everything. "I'll come for your things tomorrow," I said. "Stay with him. Stay with anyone. I just can't stay with someone who destroys me and calls it an accident." She reached for me desperately. "Please don't go home alone tonight." I paused only long enough to answer. "I've been alone for months. I just didn't know it. Then I walked out. The doors slid open as if the world itself was stepping aside for someone new. A version of me that would never return to who I was before. If you're still here, thank you for listening. Telling this story wasn't easy then, and it isn't easy now. But heartbreak doesn't end you. Betrayal doesn't last forever. If you want more real-life stories, help me reach 2,000 subscribers. Take care of your heart. Not everyone will.